People don't actually understand that if you are ensnared in a narcissistic relationship, the toll on one's reality can be staggering. Deceit, manipulation, and emotional turbulence become the twisted threads binding innocent individuals. In this video, I will show you 10 unanswered questions from people abused by a narcissist who are afraid to ask. Question 1. Why do they treat me like a child? The perplexing treatment of being treated like a child by narcissistic parents reflects their need for control and dominance. This behavior isn't a reflection of the child's maturity or capabilities, but a tactic employed by narcissistic parents to assert power. By infantilizing their child, narcissistic parents maintain a sense of superiority, eroding the child's self-esteem and independence. Imagine a scenario where a teenager is consistently belittled or micromanaged, with their opinions dismissed. This treatment reflects the narcissistic parent's desire to keep the child dependent, preventing them from developing a strong sense of autonomy. The fear of asking why they are treated like a child often stems from the potential consequences of challenging the established power dynamic within the parent-child relationship. Question 2. Why can't I go out with my friends? The question of whether a child can go out with friends in a narcissistic household reveals the control exerted by the parents. Narcissistic parents may limit social interactions to maintain dominance and prevent the child from forming supportive external relationships. This control tactic serves to isolate the child emotionally, making them more reliant on the narcissistic parent. Picture a scenario where a child hesitates to ask permission to hang out with friends due to the potential backlash. The fear of asking if they can go out is rooted in the expectation of criticism, accusations, or attempts to sabotage their social life. Narcissistic parents may view the child's desire for social connections as a threat to their control, leading to restrictions and manipulation. Question 3. Why do they control all the spending? The pervasive control over spending in a narcissistic household is a tactic used to maintain financial dominance. Narcissistic parents may control all spending to limit the child's autonomy and independence. Financial control becomes a tool for manipulation, fostering dependence and hindering the child's ability to break free from the narcissistic parent's influence. Consider a situation where a child needs to ask for permission or justify every expense, no matter how small. The fear of asking why spending is tightly controlled arises from the potential consequences, accusations of irresponsibility, or threats to cut off financial support. Financial dependence becomes a subtle form of captivity in the intricate dynamics of a narcissistic family. Question 4. Why can't I talk to my family? The restriction on communication with extended family members in a narcissistic household serves to isolate the child further. Narcissistic parents may fear external influences that could offer alternative perspectives or support, prompting them to limit the child's interactions with relatives. This control tactic aims to create a narrative that revolves solely around the narcissistic parent. Question 5. Why do they always blame me? The pervasive blame directed at the child in a narcissistic household is a manipulation tactic used to maintain control and superiority. Narcissistic parents deflect accountability, shifting blame onto the child for any perceived wrong. This constant blaming erodes the child's self-esteem and creates a distorted narrative where they are always at fault. Consider a scenario where a child is consistently blamed for issues, even those beyond their control. The fear of asking why they are always blamed is rooted in the emotional toll, constant gaslighting and manipulation that erodes the child's confidence and self-worth. The blame becomes a tool for the narcissistic parent to assert dominance and undermine the child's perception of reality. Question 6. Why are they doing this to me? The persistent question of why a narcissist inflicts emotional turmoil often stems from a desperate attempt to make sense of their erratic behavior. In the complex landscape of narcissistic dynamics, it's crucial to understand that their actions are not a rational response to your actions or worth. Narcissists operate from a place of deep-seated insecurities, seeking control and power to mask their own emotional fragility. Their behavior, ranging from charming to hurtful, is a manifestation of their internal struggles rather than a reflection of your actions. The fear associated with asking why they are doing this lies in the unsettling realization that their actions may not have a logical explanation, and attempting to rationalize their behavior may lead to further emotional confusion. Imagine experiencing the unpredictable roller coaster of emotions in a relationship with a narcissist. Sometimes they're charismatic and charming, and other times their actions are deeply hurtful. The fear of asking why they are doing this stems from the recognition that their actions may not follow a logical pattern. It's like attempting to understand a puzzle with missing pieces, where their emotional responses are driven by internal chaos rather than external circumstances. Accepting that their behavior is rooted in their own complexities allows you to shift the focus from searching for logic to prioritizing your own emotional well-being. Question 7. Do they notice or care how I feel? The question of whether a narcissist notices or cares about your emotional state arises from a genuine desire for acknowledgement and empathy. However, navigating a relationship with a narcissist unveils their self-centered worldview, making it challenging for them to truly understand or value your feelings. The fear tied to this question stems from the unsettling possibility that your emotional experiences may be inconsequential to them. It highlights the emotional isolation that often characterizes relationships with narcissists, where your vulnerabilities may not receive the recognition and care they deserve. Consider sharing your deepest emotions and vulnerabilities with a narcissist, only to be met with indifference or dismissal. The fear of asking whether they notice or care about your feelings arises from the realization that your emotional well-being may not be a priority for them. It's like standing on the shores of your emotional landscape, shouting into the void and wondering if your words will ever be heard. This question encapsulates the struggle of seeking emotional connection in a relationship where empathy is scarce, leaving you to grapple with doubts about the authenticity of your emotional experiences. Question 8. Why can't they apologize? The absence of genuine apologies in a narcissistic dynamic is a source of profound frustration. Narcissists struggle to admit fault as it threatens their carefully constructed image of superiority. This question delves into the heart of their ego-driven behavior, revealing that their inability to apologize isn't a reflection of your worth, but a manifestation of their own emotional limitations and insecurities. The fear associated with asking why they can't apologize often stems from the recognition that their ego takes precedence over acknowledging the pain they cause. Imagine finding yourself hurt by a narcissist's actions, yearning for a heartfelt apology that never arrives. The fear of asking why they can't apologize lies in the understanding that their reluctance isn't a measure of your worthiness, but rather consequence of their own emotional barriers. It's like standing at the intersection of hurt and healing, realizing that the path to resolution is hindered by their unwillingness to admit fault. This question unravels the layers of their egocentric world where vulnerability is perceived as weakness, hindering the possibility of genuine reconciliation. Question 9. Am I loved? The question of whether a narcissist truly loves you delves into the universal quest for genuine connection and validation. However, relationships with narcissists are often characterized by self-centered desires, making it challenging for them to form deep, reciprocal emotional bonds. The fear associated with asking this question arises from the unsettling realization that their love may be conditional, rooted in their needs rather than a profound and unconditional connection. Example: picture moments of affection in a relationship with a narcissist, moments that at times feel genuine but are overshadowed by a pattern of self-centered behavior. The fear tied to asking whether they love you lies in the recognition that their love may be contingent on fulfilling their desires rather than a profound and unconditional emotional connection. It's like seeking validation in a hall of mirrors where reflections may mimic genuine emotions but lack the depth and sincerity of true love. This question exposes the fragile nature of emotional bonds within a narcissistic relationship, prompting introspection into the authenticity of their affections. Question 10. Why am I always at fault? The pervasive blame game in a narcissistic relationship leads to the question of why you consistently find yourself at fault. Narcissists deflect accountability, shifting blame to maintain control. This question highlights the manipulation that erodes your self-worth, creating a distorted narrative of guilt. The fear associated with asking why you are always at fault stems from the emotional toll, constant gaslighting and manipulation that erodes your confidence and leaves you questioning your own sanity. Envision a scenario where every disagreement with a narcissist results in you shouldering the blame, even for issues that are not your responsibility. The fear tied to asking why you are always at fault lies in the emotional toll of constant gaslighting, a process that distorts your reality and undermines your confidence. It's like navigating through a maze of self-doubt, where the path to truth is obscured by a cloud of manipulation. This question is a crucial step in reclaiming your narrative, allowing you to challenge the distorted perceptions created by a narcissist and regain a sense of agency in your own life. Learning about these unanswered questions is like putting on a pair of glasses that helps us see things more clearly. It's not just about recognizing the questions. It's about getting a deeper look into what people go through in narcissistic relationships. Remember, if you or someone you know is going through this, knowing about these questions can be like having a little guide. It's a way to learn, to support, and to help each other heal. By sharing what we've learned, we're making a little step towards creating a more understanding and supportive community. So let's keep this journey of learning, understanding, and growing going. Take care.